Welcome back everyone to our gameplay series for Farm Manager 2018. So we're picking up where we left off last time. We got a lot of chickens going on, and of course we had an opportunity to upgrade our main house, and that's going to enable us to do some fun things going forward, such as purchase land. And that's one of the things we're going to be doing in today's video. But of course, before we get into all that, we're going to need to get started working these greenhouses. All right, I think we're good to go now that we've made those two selections. So the reason why I want to expand is, number one, of course, we're running out of available land where we are now. But the other reason is because I want to try... Oh, we've got some sick animals. Where are they? And we'll go ahead and call the vet there for our chickens. Because I want to start to separate things some. And instead of worrying so much about using every specific portion of land, what I want to do is actually portion things out. Because as we continue to grow bigger and bigger, it's going to be harder and harder to keep track of what's going on at any of these certain spots. So, all right, we just finished up the training to make the land a little bit cheaper. So now what we need to do is actually see about expanding. So to do that, we're going to click on our home, and then we're going to go to buy land. And then we're actually going to open up that menu, and you can see right now we can purchase any of the four plots that are available. And you can see each of these plots is the same size as our initial plot. So I think what I'm going to do is let's just go to the left. We can see at some point we're going to run into the water getting in our way, but for right now this should be perfect. Let's purchase that one. You can see with our 10% discount that we just researched, this is going to cost us $36,000. So a very, very small sum of money. So we had 700 grand. Now we have just a little bit less. We'll go ahead and right click to get out of there. And so the game is only going to, oh wow, so now we're upside down. I need to turn this thing back around so it makes sense to me. And of course we've got a lot more going on with our greenhouses. So let's go ahead and take care of those as best we can anyway. All right, and then we're actually going to slow things down a little bit. Okay, we got insects on our field. And let's see, do we have any insecticide? I don't think we do. No, we don't. So let's go ahead and buy some of that real quick. All right, insecticide, we'll go ahead and get 100. That should last for a very, very long time. You can see 2024 is when it expires. So let's go ahead and get that. And I'm going to fast forward a little bit just to give it time to arrive on site. And I believe there it comes now, across the road. Okay, let's see if we've got what we need to do here. Yeah, there we go. Insects. Go ahead and, oh, we have no people available? None? Okay, we have two now. Let's go ahead and try this again. It won't take them very long at all to do that, and then we can get back to working on these. But let's go ahead and slow down time for a little bit. Oh, look at that nice rainbow we've got on the screen. Very nice. I hadn't noticed those before. All right, so let's go to our new plot of land. And now is where it becomes helpful that we have these roads that are going on. Oops, wrong there. Let's go ahead and put a road. I'm just going to go ahead and extend it. Nope. Well, I'm going to extend it as long as it will allow me. And let's get started with, and I'm just going to create a whole new area and try to make it as self-contained as possible. And you'll see what I mean by that here in just a moment. Sort of like what I did over here with the chickens. You can see I've got a couple of warehouses back to back here. But again, I was trying to do a self-contained area rather than worrying about one warehouse per certain amount of area. And these greenhouses just never let up. They are always needing some work done to them. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is let's go ahead and we need a new house. Again, self-contained. Let's see. I tell you what. Let's do. How do I want to lay this out? Because we're going to use a lot of land for this. Is the way it's going to end up being. So I'll tell you what. Let's do this first. We're going to start out with some cows. Definitely not the most space efficient way of doing this, but we're going to do it this way. So we're going to do cows there, and then cows. I'm going to back up just a little bit and do cows right there so that I can put, maybe, yeah, there we go. Okay, so I can put a road through there. All right, so while these are being built, I want to go ahead and build, I'm going to go ahead and build a barn right there. So we're going to need that, of course, for our food. Now we can speed things up a little bit and let some of this construction get started. And along the same lines, I am going to go ahead and get some road infrastructure going. So I don't forget, so we got barn and a couple of cow areas. We're going to need, of course, a house for our employees. And let's put it about right there so we don't interrupt the road. We are also going to need, for storage, we're going to need our warehouse with cooling. And look at this bad boy. Now you tell me that is not huge. That is a huge warehouse. I'm going to put it right here, sort of in the center of the existing road. I think we're going to have enough room. I tell you what, let's go ahead and place the road, slow down time a little bit now that we got some construction going on. And again, for right now, we're sticking with the dirt road instead of the paved road. Okay, now let's go back and see how this warehouse is going to... Okay, yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking it was going to do. Just wanted to make sure. So there's our huge warehouse that is up and running. Now we're going to need... Okay, let me see. Let me make sure I don't get... Now, the good thing about this warehouse is that it's going to have cooling, but if I go back in, it will carry a lot of the same things that we can get in the other warehouse. Seeds, plants, fruits, vegetables, dairy, and so on, with the addition of frozen food and, of course, our eventually our meat, because we're going to put cow meat in here from our butcher or our slaughterhouse. So now let's come in under the factories, if I can hit the right button, and we've got a small slaughterhouse. So again, a small one, because we need to do, well, aside from the money issue, we need to get into some different things, and I am excited, quite frankly, to get into some other things, but we're going to start out small. You can see some of these are huge and will no doubt produce a huge amount of... Let's see if I can work this out. Yeah, there we go. So I'm trying to figure out how I want this slaughterhouse to go, and I'm thinking I want it to go just like this, right about there, because if I do that, then we're going to have easy access to the road, because what's going to happen is our slaughterhouse is going to be going back and forth between our two cow barns and also going straight into our storage. So all of those are going to be things we're going to need to deal with. Now we need to get busy hiring some employees. Oh, there's one right at the top. And again, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time worrying about their cost. That's not really what we're worried about right now in our playthrough. Let's see. Anybody else here while I am looking? Okay, this isn't bad. 556 is not terrible. All right, that's 2. So we've got 2 cow barns and 2 of these employees. Let's go ahead and max them out on the stuff we need them to be maxed out on anyway. Okay, so then let's get them hired. And we're going to start out with, I tell you what, let's just give them 3 for just a moment. We'll come back to that in a few minutes. Let's get our other employee hired. And the same thing. Let's go ahead and get 3 to get started. All right, in the middle of all this, of course, I need to not forget about our greenhouses. If I do, then I do, because I'm sure that's going to happen at some point very quickly. But I'm going to try at least to make an effort to keep these relatively caught up as much as I can. But our focus for sure is on this immediate area for now. All right, another thing I want to do before I forget, because I will easily forget, is put a small silo in here. Let's see, where can I put the silo? Can I slide it right in here? Nope, I'm not going to be able to slide it in there, so what I'm going to have to do, and this actually will probably work out pretty good, I'm going to put it right about there. Because again, my ultimate idea and plan is to put some things on the other side as well. And that way we can use this storage for several things. But who knows, I might end up putting another storage here whenever the time comes. We'll just have to see how it works out. This will be my first time going through this whole thing, but I want to see how this works. And I knew that I did not want to use our existing cows for that. I'm going to leave them producing the milk, and we're going to have that income stream. These cows will also be producing milk, but we're going to sort of go beyond that and use some separate cow sheds for this. All right, if we can hurry up and get these things moving along. All right, do I have anybody else? Yeah, there we go. Get these bad boys taken care of. Okay, so we just have one more that we're waiting for. Okay, so let's go ahead and purchase some food. Again, I don't know necessarily that the food we purchase is going to go straight to the storage we want it to. Let's go ahead and purchase, I'll tell you what, since it's so cheap, we're going to go ahead and purchase 15,000 crops. Let's go ahead and get some grass. Again, it's not costing us a whole lot here. And let's see, I've already forgotten. Yes, I know they're sick. If they happen to die before I get this done, then I guess that will just be my punishment. Because there is food for the cows, but of course it's way over here. So I'm trying to help that out, but I'm just not sure it's going to work. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay, what else was it that I needed to get? Because I want to have plenty of food for these guys. Let's see, of course, there's silage. We could go with wheat and rye. I think I want to go ahead and get some more wheat and rye while I am thinking about it. Let's go ahead and get, not the seeds. All right, so 15,000 there. And this should be the only time we have to do this for a very long time. Okay, let's see. All right, we're starting to get some food in here. Again, the silage, I'm glad they're using that and hope they will continue to do so. I'm simply trying to make sure we've got enough food, and we'll hope that it all works out since, let's see, actually, let's go ahead and try this out. I don't think I can move just a portion, so let's go ahead and try it. Yes, I can. Okay, awesome. I should have tried this earlier, shouldn't I? All right, let's move that. And let's see, where is, did it already bring the rye? Yes, it did. All right, put the rye in there. And let's go over to the silage. Let's do the same thing there. So let's go about 3,000 there. Move that. Okay, I just want to make sure we've got plenty of food. You can see that happens instantly. So we don't have to worry so much about that. In fact, let's see. So let's keep our silage production going. So for that reason, let's go ahead and move some of our crops. Again, I'm holding down shift. And then I'm choosing the barn where I want the product to be moved. And I'm going to move, let's say, about 10,000 of that. Let's go ahead and move it there. That way it'll be a little easier for the silage production to get to it. Okay, finally we got that done. We've got all of our buildings, at least I think we've got all the buildings we need, and all the food in the immediate area we need for these guys. Yes, they are getting filled up on food. Excellent, that's what I want to see. Just to make sure they don't run out of food. Okay, make sure, yes, everything is going great. We've got the milk that, again, is going into this warehouse instead of the normal small warehouses. Okay, now we need to get going with our slaughterhouse. You can see we've got room for 3 employees, but we're going to be looking for different types of employees than what we've generally been looking for. We're going to look for the factory workers. Now, in this case, we have a worker that has both the factory skill as well as the strength skill. That is awesome, and that is exactly what I want. It's perfect. So I don't really care, again, too much about the cost here. If I can find that combination, then I am more than happy to hire them. Let's see. Oh, you can hear the thunder in the background. Haven't heard that a whole lot. Okay, we didn't get a whole lot going there. Let's go ahead and get this new employee in here and max them out. Okay, let's go back to hiring a couple of more workers. Hopefully we can find some. The main thing, oh, here's another one. Awesome. That is what I want. They can work longer if we're able to do that. So, okay, this is a good one if I can't find another one. We've been having some good luck here. So I'm going to scroll down through. Okay, not bad. Not bad at all. I'm going to go ahead and hire this guy. That should be enough employees. Now let's go ahead and max out our skills. Very nice. All right, I'm happy with that. So now we'll come back to this section in just a moment. Okay, and there we go. So the main thing is we have 5 out of 5 on the factory side of things, and then we were fortunate enough to get a couple of them that also had the strength. So now what are we going to be producing here? Well, we've already decided. We're going to be producing the cow meat. And you can see because of our employee upgrades, we are going to be taking 1 cow and producing 625 kilograms of meat. And I can tell you, this is going to be a very lucrative. Let's see. Okay, there we go. I was hoping it would give me an option to choose which of the cow barns. So we want to stay with the ones here. And what I'm going to do is, rather than all of them, we don't want to take all the cows out of the cow barn, at least not right now. We want to go any above 3. I'll tell you what, let's just go 2. Let's just keep it pretty simple there. And 2. So these other 2 are actually on the other side of the map. So we want to leave them as is. So now what should happen as we scroll back over is we have, yep, it did exactly what I thought it was going to do. The first time through, it always goes ahead and grabs all of them that it can find using the number that you dictate in here, in this case 2. Well, of course, that's not what we want. We want anything above 3. So let's get this back to 3. Now from here on out, what little bit I've tested with this, very little, it actually tended to work properly. And we got all sorts of problems with our greenhouses. So let's come back to them for just a moment. And in fact, let's hire a couple more employees here. Let's go ahead and hire 1. Let's see where that. There we go. And then we're going to get 1 more if I can find one. That's reasonably good. There we go. That's perfect. That's the house we want. Weeds on my field. Okay, well, we're not going to worry about that right now, but I am going to slow down time for just a moment because we need to do a little bit of work with these employees. Okay, there we go. Now we've got some additional employees just so we can try to help out with this and try to keep this from happening so badly. All right, so now we've got full employees. We've got our production going on, and in our warehouse, we should start to see, yep, some cow meat being produced, and it's being moved over here. So let's go ahead and actually pause right now. So we've taken, if we come back to the slaughterhouse, we have taken one cow and turned it into 625 kilograms of meat. So if we do a little bit of math here, let's take a look very briefly and see that we can purchase a cow for $2,600 or pounds or whatever units they're using for this. So 2,600 is our main thing. But now if we come in, because we need to set up our automatic sale anyway, and we scroll down till we find the meat somewhere in here. There we go. So the cow meat, and you can see that each of these, for right now anyway, is selling for $42.73 each. So what we're going to find is if I try to sell all of these, look at that, $160,000. So this is an absolutely huge market that you can get into using the butcher, and we're just going to simply sell all of those. And oops, one thing I did forget to check on. Let's go ahead and scroll down real quick. All right, how long is this good? So through 7/25, only for 5 more days. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sell what little bit is left just to get us started and make sure that everything we need is done. I don't want it to let any of this spoil since we might have been a little bit off on when we got this stuff done. And now, because we are on a weekly cycle after we upgraded our home, okay, let's see if we can't catch up a little bit here on these guys. Okay, there we go. So now you can see there is going to be a steady supply of meat in here, and we're back to 2 and 2. Now at some point, we'll start to get messages here just like we did earlier when we were dealing with the chickens. We'll start to get those inseminator messages. Hey, call the inseminator, and that's long term what we plan on doing, but it's going to take a little while before the cows. I don't know exactly how long, and honestly, I don't know that I've ever seen that message pop up for the cows. Most of the time, I simply fill it up with, in this case, 6 in the small cow barn, and that's what we're going to do for now. We're just going to fill that up, and we're going to let some of this meat production get going, and then after a little while, we will back this, and we'll just leave it at 2, because now what's going to happen is we're going to have, there comes the truck that's going to bring us the other 4, and then our slaughterhouse is going to see that and say, oh, we're supposed to take any animals above 2 in this particular cow shed. So they're going to come and they're going to get these 4, take them to the slaughterhouse, which will be turned into meat, and so on. So for right now, we're going to go ahead and do this part manually, and then over amount of time, we will allow the inseminator to start running its course, and we'll start the clicker game. All right, let's get, once again, lots and lots of money flowing in at this point. Now that we've got the slaughterhouse going, and particularly now that they're going to have 8 cows to pick up, that is going to be a huge deal for us. Okay, now let's see if we can go back over here. And now what all do we have going? We've got fungus on the field. What else? Oh, weeds. Okay. So you can see our crop quality is going down, but that's not all that big a deal. So again, we'll buy that, and then we'll get the weed stuff as well. We'll buy 100 of that. Okay, also you can see it's ready actually to be harvested, or at least start the harvest process. But of course, we have no interest in that. We're around midsummer, but we don't have any interest in harvesting that. We just want it to stay there, quite frankly. All right, okay, so it's not going to let us spray right now, so we may end up losing this a little bit early, this crop a little bit early, and if it is, then so be it. We're not going to worry about that. All right, so they've already come and got the 4 cows here. What about over here? they have not. So that means that in this small slaughterhouse, they are out of room. So as soon as they get done, there we go. That's the last cow being processed. So that should mean that very shortly they will come over and pick up the cows from this particular shed. But again, this meat is a huge moneymaker. I know they've been working on the balance of it, and I'm sure they're going to continue to work on it. And as I continue to mention in this series, I'm not doing this because I believe it's the best way to make money. I'm doing it because it's something I want to do, and I want to experience a lot of this and try to experience as much of it as we possibly can. All right, let's get back to it a little bit. But that's the main thing I wanted to make sure we got done in today's video. You can see we're still playing the clicker game here with the greenhouses. And thankfully, this is why I did not want to continually play the clicker game with the chickens and the cows and have all this going on, because it becomes a mess whenever you have so many things going on at one time. So I'm really hoping that they're going to help us out with that sooner rather than later, and give us some sort of automation on these things. So let's see. Yes, they've come and they've got those. I'm actually going to fill this up again for now. So this is actually a very, very quick way to make money. Forget about the inseminator, and we'll just fill this up manually, and that's a quick way to earn quite a bit of money. You can see we're up over almost 900,000 at this point. So money is flowing in quite readily. So I think we're going to leave it here for now, because what we're going to do in the future is we're going to continue to expand and do this same sort of thing. Only next time, who knows, maybe we'll do it with pigs or chickens or something along those lines, but we'll pick something different and we'll run with it. So for now, thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned as we continue our gameplay series for Farm Manager 2018.